It's October 31st. We're going to make some Chow Chow. The last of the garden, or Chow Chow, you can use pretty much any vegetables you have left over in the garden. We picked off quite a few green tomatoes just the other day, and that's what this Chow Chow primarily is green tomatoes. But I'm going to start cutting up the onions first. There's quite a bit of onions. And we're going to do this just like we did our other relish. We'll salt this, leave it in the refrigerator overnight. That draws the moisture out and it also keeps it really crisp. Now I'm going to cut this stuff kind of big, not mince too much. I know all cooks have their own methods of cutting onions. I like cutting it this way. Go against the grain. I get them pretty uniform that way. Now my friend who said this was perfect last year and then asked me to make it hotter made me think about it, so we're going to go ahead and make one batch hot and one batch the way I like it, sweet. And I'm going to divide the vegetables in half. Alright, so that's 11 cups of onions. I've already put half in there, half in here, that way we split them up. I pretty much just cut these in half and slice them. They don't have to be uniform. They're going to cook down a little bit. When this is all said and done, it all blends together nicely. So just cut the ends off, cut the flower end off, cut the stem end off. Any little blemishes, if there are any. I like my cabbage and my tomatoes a little bigger in the Chow Chow. So that's basically all you're doing, is just slicing those up. And there you go, 7 cups of sliced green tomatoes, split between 2 batches. There you go, 6 cups of chopped red, yellow, orange, and banana pepper. Alright, now for the cabbage, we need 20 cups of cabbage. So I've got all the heads out of the garden. This is the first year I've ever had any cabbage. So I'm pretty excited about using the garden cabbage. I did get out the big knife for this. Alright, this is homegrown, fresh out of the garden. Down the center. You're going to want to get that core out of there. Look at that! That is beautiful. I want this hard core out of the center. Look at that. Alright, I like to chop this kind of coarse. Go, 10 cups. Cups there. After we cleared out the bucket, we got a pretty nice little batch of miniature carrots for the Chow Chow. Get these cleaned up, get them measured up, get them in the batch. Now comes the fun part. Okay, the recipe is going to call for 2 cups of canning salt. We're going to add that at this point. We're going to do a little mix here before we start. Get the onions up in here and the tomatoes, the cabbage down in there a little bit. We're going to mix this up a little bit. That's how Grandma did it. So I was shown how to do this. Never want to use iodized salt. That'll turn your vegetables brown. And look how pretty this is. You do not want to turn this brown. So put a little coating on top. Continue to turn your bowl. Bring the bottom up. My arm's in the way, I apologize. What this is going to do is going to draw the moisture out. It's going to allow the vegetables to take on the brine. It doesn't matter if you get a little more in here. We're going to rinse this off really well tomorrow. I'm going to let this sit in the refrigerator overnight for 24 hours, more or less. You'll be amazed at how much liquid comes out of this. Alright, that's mixed up pretty good. I'm going to put just a little bit more on top. Sprinkle it lightly. Our next step is just some saran wrap, some plastic wrap. We're not going to cover it like it's a leftover dish. Just going to put this lightly over the top. We'll take that and put that in the refrigerator, and I'll get this other one going. The recipe will be down in the description box. So that'd be about 1 cup of salt per bowl. Wish I had smell-o-vision because this is awesome. I got a special little ingredient coming up, Ty. I believe you saw me take this off the pepper plant. This one's for you. Alright, it's been about 24 hours. Let's take the top off. I think you're going to be surprised at how much liquid is coming out of here. Look at that. It's reduced down quite a little bit. Now here's a trick. You only want to put part of your vegetables in the colander to rinse to start with. We'll put it back in the colander. Doesn't that look nice? We'll leave that to drain. Alright, while that's draining, 3. I'm going to use 4 cups of sugar. We're going to use 4 cups of vinegar. We sure do like this white pickling vinegar. 5% acidity. Now remember, we've cut this recipe in half. We're doing 2 batches, the sweet one for me and the hot one for Ty. 4. So we'll do this again. We're going to go ahead and heat the jars up, sterilize it. This will cook for 10 minutes once we get the syrup dissolved. Okay, we've got 4 cups of sugar. We want 1 tablespoon of mustard seed. We want 3 teaspoons of celery seed. Now the turmeric, we want 1.5 tablespoons. We're going to put just 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. Once we get the sugar dissolved, we'll add the vegetables and we'll let that cook for 10 minutes. And carefully pour your vegetables in the pot. Once you put the vegetables in your pot, bring it back up to a simmer and let that cook for about 10 minutes. And that was a quick 10 minutes. Alright, so turn the heat off. Let's get these in the jars. These jars have already boiled and sterilized. And 1 pint holds about 2 cups. I like to do about 3/4 of the way for several, and then we'll split it up the rest, finish them off. And the reason I put paper towels down is because the turmeric stains everything. Alright. Now, very important, get all the sticky off of the rim. Just wipe it with a nice clean paper towel. You want to make sure you got a good seal with this. Gotta love having a magnet on a stick. Put the lids on. So you gotta be very careful. These are hot. I'm only going to put these on finger tight. Here's my secret weapon for dealing with hot jars. We want to just put it finger tight. That way the air can escape while it's processing, and then as it cools off it creates a vacuum which will pull down the dimple in the top of the lid and create a seal. Take the next one, remember finger tight, sit it in the rack, These are hot, so you will want to have some kind of towel or my checkered cooking mitten that I got for Christmas one year. They thought it was a joke. They didn't think I was going to use it. It's come in very handy. Drop that down in. You want about an inch or so, or a little over an inch of water over the top. We'll boil that in the water bath for about 10 minutes. Well, we've been 10 minutes. Go ahead and take the top off. Turn this down a little bit. Alright, well, let's take these out. We'll listen to we'll listen for the telltale popping as the lids seal. Alright, well, it's been 10 minutes of cooking. Let's go ahead and get these in a jar. Now this is the hot one. Ty, I just saw one of your little peppers go in. Now fellas, if you're gonna can, do not get this turmeric on your wife's floor. You will never hear the end of it. One of the most important parts of this, just making sure you don't have any food or any sugar on these rims. Set your lids on. These are warm. Finger tight. Don't really crank on it too hard. You want to have enough that the air can get out. You don't want this to expand so much it's going to break the jar. Alright, down in the boiling water. Get your lid on. And we go for about 10 minutes. Get the little wires. Get them up out of here. Now if you notice, on that first batch we had a little extra calcium on the jar lids. I had forgotten, a little tip I got, put a little vinegar in your canning water. It'll stop that calcium from forming on your jars. And they'll just look prettier. And there we are. Sweet Chow Chow, hot Chow Chow. This is a very simple way to utilize all the rest of the vegetables in the garden. That's why we do this. Because it tastes good. Try this recipe. I think you'll be very surprised at how nice this is. And it's very simple. And until next time, take care of yourself, take care of your family. God bless you. Thank you for coming to my garden. Thank you for coming to my kitchen. Thank you for following my story. Come on, let's plant.
Let's go plant garden.